Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at a massive, fundamental shift in how technology is built, drawing directly from the structural insights over at Unisub Consulting. If you've spent any time at all in software engineering, you know the friction, right? The endless cycle of writing boilerplate, hunting down obscure syntax errors, and manually connecting the dots between completely disparate systems. It's exhausting. But we're talking about moving away from a world where we just use AI to slightly speed up those manual tasks, to a world where AI actively works alongside us as a true co-creator. We are talking about literally architecting the future of software development. Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when artificial intelligence stops waiting for your commands? Think about your current digital workbench. You've got highly advanced tools, sure, but they still absolutely require a master craftsman swinging the hammer. So what happens when that tool doesn't just auto-complete your code, but, proactively writes the tests, provisions the environment, and pushes the deployment without you even having to ask? When it stops being a passive utility and transforms into an active participating agent in your workflow? It's a huge conceptual leap, and it is redefining the boundaries of engineering right now.
So, moving into the SDLC arena and defining the framework.
The Software Development Lifecycle, or SDLC. Look, we all know it. It's the structured, multi-phase framework teams use to design, build, and maintain software. Enterprise software doesn't just magically materialize. It's forged through this highly organized, predictable lifecycle. It's essentially the factory floor of the digital world. But historically, this factory floor has been entirely bottlenecked by human bandwidth. You know what it is. Every transition between phases, every handoff, it requires manual review, manual intervention, just manual labor. We've got the four classic phases: plan, code, test, and deploy. And we all know the friction points here. Planning, well, that often devolves into endless alignment meetings and whiteboarding sessions that literally take weeks to solidify. Then comes the code phase, where developers translate those abstract plans into millions of lines of logic. That is a process fraught with cognitive load. Testing is notoriously grueling, squashing those weird edge case bugs and writing extensive test suites just to make sure the new code doesn't break the old code. And finally, deploy, navigating all that complex infrastructure to actually get the product to users. Traditionally, human engineers and product managers have completely owned every single one of these steps, and this is exactly the rigid territory where AI is intervening to break that bottleneck. All right, section Rethinking AI Coding Tools. Let's look at the current paradigm. Unisub Consulting really frames this evolution perfectly. Their premise is AI in the SDLC, rethinking AI coding tools and AI agents. And the operative word here is definitely rethinking. We aren't just tossing out the AI capabilities we've recently gained. No, we're fundamentally rethinking how we interact with them. Let's be honest, currently the industry is kind of hitting a plateau of frustration. We've got these incredibly powerful AI models, but the way we integrate them into our daily workflow, it still feels incredibly granular and tethered. We are rethinking what we should actually expect this tech to do for us moving forward. So let's look closely at where we are right now. Currently, our AI coding tools require constant human prompting. A tool, by definition, is passive. Think of a standard hammer. It really doesn't matter if it's a basic wooden hammer or this titanium, ergonomically balanced marvel of engineering. It cannot build a house without a carpenter constantly swinging it. In software, our current AI assistants are basically just highly advanced autocompletes. You write a specific prompt, it spits out a few lines of code. You run into an error, you copy-paste that error back into the prompt and ask for a fix. I mean, every single developer knows the struggle of trying to get an AI tool to understand the broader context of a massive, multi-file code base. It relies entirely on you to direct its actions, piece by piece, line by line. It's a powerful utility? Absolutely. But it's just sitting there waiting for your explicit instructions. Now, let's talk about the rise of AI agents, which brings us to the paradigm shift. Now, what's really interesting about this is when you contrast our current reality with this new paradigm. On one side, we have AI coding tools. They're passive, prompt-driven, and task-specific. But on the other side, we have AI agents. These are active, autonomous, and fully integrated into the SDLC. An agent doesn't sit idle waiting for you to ask it to write a single authentication function. No, it looks at the overall architectural plan, understands the desired business logic, and actively starts writing the backend, generating the corresponding front-end components, writing the unit tests for both, and even suggesting deployment configurations entirely on its own. It operates with a level of independence that completely transforms the fundamental mechanics of the software lifecycle. So we're rethinking AI's role from the ground up, moving way beyond basic code completion and integrating it across all phases of the SDLC. The absolutely crucial concept Unisub Consulting introduces here is architectural autonomy. This is the game changer.
This is the technical breakthrough that separates a tool from an agent. An agent with architectural autonomy doesn't just look at a single file. It holds the entire repository context right in its memory. It understands how a change in your database schema is going to ripple through the API layer and affect the user interface. It actually comprehends the overarching structure of the application, which allows it to make high-level engineering decisions rather than just mindlessly executing low-level syntax generation.
Bringing it all together to an USUP Consulting's vision, architecting the future.
We're talking about architecting a fully agentic software lifecycle. When we say architecting the future, we mean a deliberate, structural redesign of how we build digital products. Just imagine a day in the life of a software team under this new paradigm. The human engineers step back from the granular code syntax. Instead, they focus almost entirely on high-level business logic, user experience, and strategic architecture. The AI agents? They act as the actual conveyor belt. The human defines the what and the why, and the agents communicate with each other to handle the how, moving seamlessly from planning to coding to testing to deployment. It's a massive shift from entirely human-driven pipelines that are merely assisted by AI tools to a fully agentic ecosystem where autonomous agents form the very backbone of the development process.
So, I'll leave you with this. As active AI agents increasingly take over the heavy lifting of the SDLC, the planning, the coding, the testing, and the deploying, what will your new role be in architecting the future? Are you going to transition to being a manager of autonomous agents? A strategic visionary who orchestrates high-level logic while the machines handle all the execution? The lifecycle itself is changing at a fundamental level. As the boundaries between human creativity and automated coding continue to blur, our professional identities absolutely must evolve to meet this new frontier. Think about it.